Let's see. Let me grab line 2. Jim's in Boston. Jim, you still there as we head back to the phones? Hello, sir.
Hello, Rush. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad you waited. I really appreciate it.
I'd wait 10 days for you, if not more. I've been listening to you since 1990. It's the second time I've gotten through. And I think of you as a dear friend because I was 18 months from having voted for Michael Dukakis back when I started listening to you.
Ah, yes, the loser.
And, yes, and things have changed. My point is that I don't think it's possible to overestimate the malignancy that clothes Barack Obama. And I want to take an idea that I got from a book, and it's that the erosion of values leads to the lessening of sanctions. The lessening of sanctions leads to the abolishment of values, and it's a self-reciprocating. So what's taking place here is they're against the police, who are the enforcers of sanctions. So when you eliminate sanctions, you cheapen things. Imagine if the sentence for murder was 60 days. What would be the value of life? So when they attack...
Well, now, we murder more than... I mean, there are people who get it proves your point, by the way. Dare I say the word? Dare I say the word? It's the dreaded A word. Abortion. It has cheapened life. I don't think... in Chicago, I remember years ago, a 7-year-old gunned down a 4-year-old. 7-year-old gunned down a 4-year-old. He said, what in the world is happening? I said, look, 7 years old, 17 years old, kids are observant, and they can very quickly pick up on something like the value of life. And they can watch television, and they can see people die, come back to life. They can have a whole jaundiced view of the whole concept of death and life as a result. But I get your point. I mean, if you murdered somebody and the max sentence was 2 months, that, by the way, is one of the theories that is abounding out there when it comes to the role of police in a circumstance. There are people like Obama and his mayor who think that a strong policing, police using show of force, promotes violence. They believe that it promotes violence and encourages violence because it agitates people, when the truth is the exact opposite. They make police forces weak. They order the police to stand down. They order the police to use restraint. As in Ferguson, one night when the riots were taking place, the cops stood down. The theory was, if we don't try to stop them, they'll get it out of their systems, and we'll only have one night of this instead of a week. It was giving in, caving in. It was appeasement. Same thing with this mayor. I am convinced, when she makes this statement that give the people who want to destroy space to do that too, whatever she claims was misunderstood. Bottom line is that she withdrew police presence. And when the rioting was going crazy yesterday, instead of slapping a curfew on last night, she does it tonight, giving them an additional day. And it's all part of the belief that if you withdraw the cops, then the agitators will be less angry, and the agitators and the rioters will do less rioting. And the fact of the matter is, it's just the exact opposite. If you have a show of police strength, you are doing more to see to it that protests take place peaceably than if the cops are not there. If the cops are not there if the cops are ordered to show restraint, if the cops are ordered to stand down for any length of time, that equals weakness. And that encourages ramped up protest. Well, these kids, they're looking at this movie called The Purge. What if there were no laws? And when the cops aren't there, there aren't any enforcement of the laws, they think these leftists have it the exact opposite out of phase way of thinking. You look at Eric Holder in Ferguson, Missouri, and Mark Lamont Hill on CNN last night. Their theory is that rioting is a reaction to a rotten environment created by the cops. They think rioting is justified. Rioting is, in fact, totally understandable when you have such a heavy cop presence. But that's not what Ferguson was, and it's not what Baltimore is. What these are people who see an opportunity to loot and to steal and to destroy, get away with it, because the cops are told to stay away. It's the exact opposite of what the left thinks.